is right. Dr. John sings your favorite hymns. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand, lending a hand. So swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Good morning. Let's just acknowledge Michael for making sure that the show will go on. Oh, on this beautiful, gorgeous day, we have swung wide the doors to the presence of God, knowing that Spirit is in this place and in all places and all people. Just as the sun awakens us to a new day, the Spirit of God within awakens us to divine glory. And this glory within and all around us is everywhere we look and in every situation we encounter. With our hearts centered in Spirit, we can quiet our thoughts and meditate on the wonder of all of God's creation and our oneness with it. So I invite you now to take a deep breath, become comfortable, and gently release any cares of the day. Your sole purpose at this moment is to experience the divine. And you begin to do so now as you relax in this sacred time and space at Unity Spiritual Center. Seeing through eyes of oneness, acknowledging our oneness, we at Unity Spiritual Center celebrate and honor people of every culture, of every creed, of every religion, of every race, of every age and every lifestyle, knowing that there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. And that God is expressing through all people in special, unique, and individual ways. As you look at the flame of the candle that we light every Sunday, remember that you yourself are a flame. You're a divine flame. You carry that within you as an individualized expression of God. We honor the one presence and power of God with Unity's foundation statement, which you'll find on the screen. Please join me in saying it aloud together. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotent. We give thanks for our spiritual community and for the beauty of our spiritual center. We give thanks that Unity Spiritual Center is a warm, welcoming, and inclusive community dedicated to studying and putting into practice empowering tools and principles for happiness, health, prosperity, and successful living. We give thanks that through our spiritual teachings, we can create extraordinary lives and a peaceful planet through our relationship with the loving God presence within each of us and through our relationships with one another. Our vision and the opportunity for each one of us here is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with spirit, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to do, and most of all, that you know that your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. If you're visiting us for the first time, and I know at least one of you are, we do pass out 2 gifts, and I believe maybe you got yours, the shell lay and the information packet. We pass out, as you know, a shell lay that says, just as God has a design for every shell in the sea, God also has a design for your life. We also pass out an information packet that tells you about Unity in general and about Unity Spiritual Center in particular. My contact information can be found within that, and know that whether you're here for the first time or if you've been here for many, many times, I'm always happy to have conversations with you about Unity and anything else you'd like to talk about. For those who are new or who haven't been here for a while, we do have tables in our sanctuary because we know that being seated around a table can foster a sense of connection. We also have tables, of course, food tables that are set up in the hospitality room, and we would love you to join us following the service for a wonderful spread where we can get to know you even better. So at this time, as we move into the meditative portion of our service and prepare to raise our voices together in song or dramatic recitation,
Yes, exactly that.
I'd ask that you turn off your cell phones and electronic devices if you haven't done so already, and let us sing together.
Okay, this is a song by Michael Gott and Karen Drucker. And I think we have the lyrics. If we do, Andrew, could you put them up? Thank you. And I will play the melody through. It'll be familiar to you. And since I will guide you the best I can. So here's what it sounds like in this place. Starting to sound a little familiar. Here we go. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry drop away from me. I open my eyes and see there is some. You guys are doing fine. Love that sets us free. There is only. Now you've got it. Now you guys get to sing a big and make up for me. Okay? Here we go. In this moment. Spirit gently say, there is only, there is only. there is only, let's do the big part. There is only love. There is love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. Thank you.
So now, as we continue to get comfortable in our seats, relaxing even more deeply into this time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts to receive the message of today's daily word, which will be read by Ethel Ting Kwan.
I hope this resonates with you. I know it certainly does with me. Sunday, April 30th, 2017. I embrace change with poise and flexibility. Life is filled with unexpected changes that present new challenges. My ability to gracefully adapt to life's twists and turns hinges on my firm connection to spirit. With divine wisdom as my ever-present internal guide, I recognize that I can never be truly lost or permanently stuck, even if it might sometimes feel that way. I embrace all unknowns with poise, adjusting effortlessly to every new circumstance. I might be facing the most unforeseen obstacles or seemingly disruptive detours, such as a divorce, loss of a job, or a medical diagnosis. Whatever the challenging circumstance, I do not become fearful or rigid. Aligned with spirit, I stay open-hearted, flexible, and calm. My life is always supported by perfect love. And from Psalms 119, 105, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path.
Thank you, Ethel. Unity Spiritual Center is a center of prayer and healing. We do have a prayer box in the back of the sanctuary in which you are always invited to place your prayer requests within. And let's just take a moment right now to hold those prayer requests that are in it right now in our hearts. And let's know that perfect divine love is enfolding each person represented in the prayer chest, and that divine order is taking place for all concerned. The prayer requests that are placed in the box are prayed on by me and our USC prayer team for 30 days, and then they're forwarded to Silent Unity at Unity's World Headquarters, where they're prayed on for an additional 30 days. So the prayer requests in the back are green. They're the green slips of paper that you'll see, and you're always welcome to fill one out and place it in the box. But we also include a time in our service to make your prayers audible. And this is the time to make your prayer needs known to your spiritual family so that we can support you and stand with you. So after we sing the introduction to this song, which involves a call and response, then you are invited to speak your prayer aloud, and we will answer each prayer request by singing Your Prayer is My Prayer Too.
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? I feel too. You're a part of me. I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too. Prayer is my prayer too. Your 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 prayer is my prayer too.
We give thanks for this opportunity to bless and to be blessed in spirit. We give thanks for the feelings of peace, of connection and warmth that fill our hearts and minds right now. We give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community, in our nation, and around the globe. And we affirm that always and in all ways, divine order and divine love is everywhere present. At Unity Spiritual Center, your prayer is our prayer too. Amen.
So how I've solved my issue on this next tune, if you're just joining us and you realize that Hatfield has no voice whatsoever, I have drafted a professional dramatic recitation type guy in the style of William Shatner. Oh.
Life has taught me this. Every day is new. And if anything is true, all that matters when we're through is how we love. faced with what we lack, some things fall apart. But from the ashes, a new green starts. All that matters to the heart is how we love. How we love. How we love. From the smallest act of kindness, in a word, a smile, a touch. In spite of our mistakes, chances come again. If we lose or if we win, all that matters in the end is how we love. How we love. How we love. I will not forget your kindness when I needed it so much. Sometimes we forget, trying to be so strong in this world of right and wrong. All that matters when we're gone, all that mattered all along, all we have that carries on is how we love.
That was nice. Was that original, Michael? Was that original? Beautiful. That was beautiful. That was like a sermon and a song, wasn't it? I don't even need to talk, but I will. That was gorgeous. And thank you, Brian, for stepping in and showing us an action of love, helping out our beloved Michael today. So it's the end of the month. We've been looking at love all month, and we're coming to the conclusion of our formal look at it, although, of course, love is something that we're going to spend our lifetimes looking at, hopefully. And as the song just said, you know, all that matters in the end is how we love. And I was kind of working with this idea, thinking on a larger scope than a personal one, and decided to use What the World Needs Now is Love as a talk title. So, not original, but kind of gets to the point of what's necessary these days, doesn't it? Is there anybody who disagrees with the idea that what the world needs now is love? I think especially these days, perhaps, we're feeling the need of doing things differently, doing things better. And we're not necessarily seeing a lot of love being demonstrated, you know, in our world, or even in our nation. So this is a particularly potent subject, I think, to be looking at right now. What can we do individually to spread love in the world? And it's something that human beings have struggled with as long as we've been on the planet. Now, we know here in Unity that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, but we still have human experiences, don't we? And we still have people cut us off in traffic or snub us or, you know, take that last cookie on the platter that in the filmer room that we wanted. We're constantly dealing with human interactions that sometimes can make it difficult to love. So how do we do it? You know, how do we How do we take love from being this wonderful theoretical thing that we all should do? Everybody knows we should love, right? But it's not always easy to know how to love. Like, what does love mean? So, interestingly, we do have a handbook, and it is in Scripture, and it is something that probably most of us are familiar with, if not all, and that is the chapter in 1 Corinthians 13, which is known as the love chapter. Many of us even use those words in our weddings. Did you? I did. I'm about to celebrate my 18th wedding anniversary tomorrow, actually. And I remember we did use those words in our ceremony. And it's one of those things that there's so much in it. It could take us a lifetime to really get it. And I'm aware of that if you want to work with these principles, then it really is worthwhile to go look up 1 Corinthians 13 and spend some time with the concepts because they're deep and they're meaningful. But I thought as a way to at least begin the discussion, I can kind of go over some of the adjectives that are used for us to really start thinking about them as tools for how we can spread love in this world that is in such need of love. So anybody remember how it starts? Love is patient. Love is patient. Yeah, well, how can you rush past that, right? It's tempting. Patience isn't something that we always love to practice, but that's the very first adjective that Paul, when he wrote this book, listed. So he's asking us to slow down, to learn patient. And what that means is you don't rush to judgment. You don't jump to conclusions. You don't leap over people or the process needed to understand and be with others. We need to be patient. And it was interesting, as some of you know, I had jury duty this last week, and it was so interesting. I was there for a day and a half, and I didn't get seated, yay, but I really appreciated the opportunity to watch the process of how a jury is selected. And this idea of patience was kind of put into play, where the lawyers, when they were interviewing and the judge too, when they were interviewing possible jurors, had to keep saying, now wait a minute, you don't know the facts of the case yet. The facts of the case have not been presented yet. So that idea, don't rush to judgment. Don't think you know what's going on, because always there's more to the story than we may think. So love is patient. We can start right there. Love is kind. It's getting harder, isn't it? Love is kind. So what would it take for you to be more kind? How would you be different? How would your life be different? How would the world be different if we each truly made a commitment to showing up as a kind person? This idea of kindness is so important too, that the Dalai Lama once said, my religion is kindness. Kindness is very much an arm of love, as my mentor used to say. Kindness is an arm of love. It's a part of love. And the Roman philosopher Seneca said, whenever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Whenever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. So if you look around, you can see you've got plenty of opportunities just this morning to be kind, to be loving, right around you. Love is not envious. So nobody here ever wishes that they had, something different in their lives, do they? Wish they had a house, a job, wish they had, that spouse, that position, that quality. It's part of our human experience. We do look at other people, and we're not putting a judgment if you feel these things. But we're being instructed here that love is not envious. And if you want to be a person in the world who spreads love, then that's not a quality you want to bring forward. You want to be satisfied with your own gifts, your own elements, the elements in your life that make you you, whatever they are. Because whatever they are, they have made you someone who is committing to being of service in the world, who is committing to being a force for love. So no reason to be envious. People who truly love are just happy to be who they are and what they are, and they're happy for what their friends and family and other people have as well. Love is not boastful. We're seeing a lot of boasting, aren't we? My new Apple Watch just rang with a CNN alert, and boy, if you want to see boasting, just check out CNN.com. We've all heard boasting. We've all been in the position where we've heard somebody brag about how great they are, or how much they do, or whatever it may be. But whenever somebody is boasting, they're not coming from a place of love. They're not coming from a place of love. Because someone who is coming from a place of love is listening. They're spending more time listening to other people than they are telling other people how great they are. People who are truly loving don't need to build themselves up, and they don't need to overinflate their value. Related to that is the next line: love is not arrogant. So anybody ever been at a party when you've listened to someone who's arrogant? Not fun, isn't it? Doesn't make for good conversation. It's kind of related to this idea of being boastful. And again, if you're coming from a place of love, or if you want to come from a place of love, then this holier than thou attitude is not going to serve you. It's not going to help you in that quest. Because being arrogant and looking down your nose at somebody else, thinking that you are superior and they are inferior, is not what spreads love in the world, is it? So if we truly want to be a force for love, then we need to look for what's right in someone and not for what's wrong. Love is not rude. So we have to be nice, we have to be kind to that snippy sales associate, or that idiot who thinks he knows it all, or that guy who just cut us off in traffic. That's what it means. So this idea of, even if you see something, biting your tongue, not feeling like you have to point out what everybody else is doing wrong. Sometimes the most loving response is just to be silent, even if that person is getting under your skin, because it leads us to empathy and compassion. Empathy and compassion, even for the most irritating people in our lives. Those are the characteristics of love. Love does not insist on its own way. Love does not insist on its own way. That can be another hard one, right? We like our way. We like to have our way. And sometimes there is a way that is wiser or more loving than another. But even in those situations, what this is saying to us, I think, is speaking the truth in love. Have you heard that phrase before? Speaking the truth in love. That there's a way of coming to a situation where perhaps you're trying to shift the situation and still being loving, not insisting that it be done this way. Because when we're spreading love in the world, we don't impose our will on another person. Love is not irritable. Okay, none of us have ever gotten that one right all the time because things happen. We don't get enough sleep. We had a fight with somebody. Our body isn't feeling good. We're having a bad hair day. You know, being a force for love means that we can learn to live beyond our irritability That means we don't have to let that color our entire day. And what's so wonderful about our unity teachings is that they really help us to understand that we can shift our experience at any moment we choose. We may be having a really bad day, but at any moment, no matter what's going on, we can choose to shift, to look at what's right in our lives and not at what's wrong. That's what we need to do if we want to be a force for love, not cling to our irritability. And talk about clinging. The next one is something that often we do cling to, and that is love is not resentful. How many people here have ever held on to resentment a little bit longer than they needed to? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I see the secret hand. Yeah, it's true. And the weird paradoxical thing is sometimes it kind of feels good, right? Sometimes we kind of want to milk it, like, that person did this to me, and that was so wrong, and I didn't deserve it. And we cling to our resentment. But what Paul is saying here is love is not resentful. If you want to heal a situation, if you want to shift a situation, the quickest way is to drop your resentment. The other thing to remember about resentment is that it only hurts you. You know, somebody once said that resentment is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die, right? It only hurts you. So if we're committed to being a force for love in the world, then we drop our resentments as soon as we can. And here's another one that's something that we all kind of see play out in our culture, and that is love does not rejoice in wrongdoing. You know, we live in this very strange gossip culture, don't we? Where sometimes the news feed is giving us constant stories of, you know, somebody great who had a big fall, or, you know, some star who is having marriage problems too, or, you know, we know the examples that we're given every single day. If we look at our popular culture, there are always things that are put out there that could make us rejoice in wrongdoing, feel superior, right? But what Paul is saying here is love does not rejoice in wrongdoing. That if you want to be a force for love, then you don't kind of smirk that somebody got his comeuppance even if he deserved it. It's saying that you don't have any kinds of feeling of gotcha. You don't nurture any feelings for revenge. To be loving, you realize that there's no pleasure. There's no pleasure in repeating scandal or gossip. If you want to be a force for love, don't laugh when the guy who's sped around you is ending up at the light the same time you are. Love rejoices in the truth. So that kind of seems obvious, and it goes with the other one. If I don't rejoice in wrongdoing, I'm free to rejoice in the truth. So people who want to be a force for love in the world want to believe the best. They want to believe the best about somebody. They want to encourage honesty and goodness, and they're glad when it's found. I remember there was a book that was a bestseller. What was it called? The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch, I think. He was a professor at Carnegie Mellon who was diagnosed with terminal cancer when he was very young. And there was a part in that book where he said, always give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, no matter how long you have to wait, just give them the benefit of the doubt, because usually people do come through. And I think this is speaking to that idea. You know, rejoice in the truth of that person. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Believe the best about them. The next one, and we only have a few more to go, love bears all things. So this means not that we're supposed to be a doormat. We're not supposed to be a doormat. But it means that perhaps we expand our ability to hold something. It kind of goes along with patience. And it also suggests that we need to love even when it's not convenient to love. So sometimes maybe we get home and we're exhausted, and our partner or our child wants to talk about something that happened during their day, and we just want to veg out. But this is saying, no, it bears all things. If you want to be loving, then you hold the space. You hold that space for love, no matter what's going on with you. Love believes all things. So again, that doesn't mean that love is gullible. We're not meant to be gullible. But we are meant to believe in the best, that it's always possible. And again, that's a way in which our Unity teachings really help us. Because what Unity teaches is that we are divine beings. So even if somebody is acting out in a way that is really not suggestive of that fact, we're able to believe, or we're meant to believe that that's just not who they are. It's just an aberration. It's just where they are right now. So it's always looking for that divine kernel in someone. And there was a philosopher, writer, William Barclay, who said, love ennobles even the ignoble by believing the best. And I thought that was a really interesting phrase. That love can ennoble or bring nobility or dignity even to something that isn't. It's like you're transforming a person, a place, a situation by choosing to see the best in it. And to spread love in this world is to believe that all things are possible. All things are possible with God, for both people and for our world. Love hopes all things. That means we're not meant to be cynical, no matter how tempting it is, no matter how many news stories we read, no matter what sadness we're presented on any given day. Love hopes all things. So it means that we keep that sense of hope alive, because to hope is to create. If you give up believing that something can be better, if you give up that hope, then chances are pretty good you're not going to be able to create whatever it is that you do want to see, right? So love hopes all things, and it gives us the strength to face our future, whatever it is that we're facing. It gives us the ability to trust that always God is there, everywhere present. And finally, love endures all things. And haven't most of you had the experience of going through something so painful because of love that you just couldn't even imagine doing it? Whether it was going through the illness of a child, or being with a parent as they start to lose their faculties, or being with a spouse who had a bad accident and needed to go to full recovery. That's what enduring all things is, that idea that love, when we are coming from a place of love, we can do things we never dreamed we could do. That's the beauty of it. It expands us. It stretches us. So people who are spreading love in the world have learned to endure, to see beyond the obvious, to speak the belief that love is always what matters most. So clearly, just going through that list pretty quickly, and as I said, it's so deep and so big, we really could spend a lifetime with each of those qualities, studying them and practicing them. But in order to do that, and if we commit to doing that, that's how we can create the world that we want to create. That's how we can shift the world. And I just want to say, too, that though some of these qualities speak to a gentleness, being in the world in a gentle way, that spreading love also asks us to be present for the least, to speak truth to power, to let go of enmity and enemies, to say no to war and violence of any kind. Thing to remember here is that people who love are peacemakers and they're workers for justice always, because that is the biggest way of spreading love in our world. Paul says that love never ends. In our study and our practice of love never ends too. It truly is the work of a lifetime. But as hopefully you've just gotten a taste of, there really is a roadmap in this chapter, 1 Corinthians 13. And at the end of that verse it says, now faith, hope, and love abide, and the greatest of these, the most challenging of these, the most encompassing of these, the most empowering of these. Now, it doesn't say it there, I just said that. But the most important of these is love. And what the world needs now is love. Every day, right now. And so it is. Amen. So as Valerie turns down the lights, we are going to begin with our meditation song, Holy, Holy, Holy. We'll first sing the verse, We Are Holy. We'll go to You Are Holy, and then I Am Holy, before we enter our guided meditation. So as you begin the process of relaxing in this outer sanctuary, just feel that chair back against your back, holding you, supporting you, knowing that you are always supported by the divine. Take a few slow, deep breaths. And if you haven't already, close your eyes. And just let that music draw your attention inward, going deeper and deeper within, deeper and deeper inside yourself. We are going now to that place in you that knows only love. That place in you that is love. So now that your body is relaxed, I invite you to put your attention on your heart center. It's just located in the center of your chest, near your physical heart. And if you'd like to, just place your hand there. Place your hand on your heart, bringing warmth and breath to your heart. And just notice what you're feeling there. Notice any thoughts, feelings, memories that might surface as you bring loving attention to your heart. And I invite you now to visualize a stream of pure white light above your head that streams softly into your body, showering you with radiance. And imagine that light flowing directly to your heart center, just gently warming your heart like rays of sunshine. And just breathe deeply, receiving that gift. The stream of light is creating more spaciousness within. And imagine your heart beginning to glow like the sun, just radiant and warm. And your hand, if you still have it over your heart, it might actually begin to feel some of that warmth. Just imagine it glowing. And imagine those wide open expanses, the space within that is filled with that radiant, divine love. And take this time to give that love to yourself. Have empathy for yourself. Nurture yourself with compassion. Fill yourself with the warmth of divine love. And imagine that radiance in your heart expanding outward, filling your entire body with warmth. And that radiance now expands outward to others. So begin by imagining that love, that radiance is flowing out to the person seated next to you, people in your row, to the entire room. And just give all those people, all of us, that gift of compassion, of empathy. Just embrace your spiritual community here with your loving heart and surround each one of us with the warmth of love. And think now of friends and acquaintances, relatives, perhaps a cherished pet, anyone who comes to mind, and send that love, those feelings of togetherness and caring to them. And then go even further. Extend that love to everyone in this city, to everyone in this state, to everyone in this nation, to everyone in this world. Just feel your love extend so far and so wide that it covers the earth. Now begin to place your attention back on yourselves again, to recognize the joy that comes from this loving, from this giving, from this place of compassion and empathy for others. Recognize how good it feels to extend that love to everyone in your path and beyond. And just know that you can feel this sense of love, the sense of complete and total love at any time you choose. So just take a few moments more to rest in that feeling, to rest in that feeling of all-encompassing love. Knowing that you can return to that place at any time. You can return to this beautiful, warm feeling of love at any time. That you can visit your inner sanctuary at any time. Begin now to return to this outer sanctuary. Perhaps beginning by moving your fingers or your feet, taking another couple of deep breaths. And when you are ready, opening your eyes and coming back to waking consciousness. Unity offers positive, practical, progressive spiritual teachings and tools that truly could change the world if we decided to fully live them out individually. These are teachings and tools that honor the universal truth in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. And I invite you now in saying those aloud with me. Our vision is, we are centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is, we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are, we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And in this space, feeling inspired by the beauty we see, feeling inspired by our vision, our mission, our values, feeling enriched by the possibilities that we've talked about today, and filled up by the wonderful community that surrounds us. Let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through your generous tithes and love offerings. Practicing the principle of tithing ourselves as a spiritual community, we will be tithing 10% of the offering collected today to Lynn Zachariah's sister's organization, which I believe is called Opportunities for Guatemalans. So let us take time now to bless our tithes and love offerings. Perhaps place them in your hands or next to your hearts as we say our offertory prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
I'm going to attempt to have Ron help me here. When I wrote this particular piece, I was imagining what it would be like if you could actually go to a store and buy love. Now, obviously, you go to a store to buy food and you think, well, I need some protein, I need some carbohydrates, I need this, but you're basically following your instincts, right? And just going, I need this said yellow food, red food, whatever food, and everything else. So I invented a store. So we're going to talk about it, and you'll see if I don't croak it out right, at least the lyrics are up there. Let's go shopping at the love store. See what's up on the shelf. A bottle of friendly and caring, and a jar of love yourself. Next to the bucket of joy is a can of smile and grin. Put it all into your cart and let the fun begin. If you want to make everybody happy, first get happy yourself. If you want everyone to love you, first you gotta love yourself. I feel like leave the little old lady alone. Who's that Western star I'm thinking about? Oh well, John Wayne. Let's go riding on the love train. Take a look at the scenery. There's a beautiful meadow and a gorgeous sycamore tree. Everything is growing, and it all started from the seeds. A little water and sunshine is all this greenery needs. If you want to make everybody happy, first get happy yourself. If you want everyone to love you, first you gotta love yourself. I know it's a silly song, but it means something. Let's take a stroll down Love Lane, such a wonderful sight. Everyone loves one another, and all is perfect and right. Let's be gracious and giving, and when your day is through, thank God for the love you have, and the love returns to you. So if you want to make everybody happy, first get happy yourself. If you want everyone to love you, first you gotta love yourself. All right, does that make sense now? You wonder? Yeah, it does. If you are not a happy person or whatever else, then it just is really a hard thing to attract happy people. Okay. I mean, if you go to a party and you see the person in the funk, now my first thing that I would probably do is I'd probably go, I'm going to go draw that person out. That would be my personal challenge. That would be what I would do at a party. Most people would run the other way. Don't go there, because he's going to tie you up for the next 2 hours sobbing. But I don't know. I would probably be trying to work it out. So if you want to make everybody happy, first get happy yourself. If you want everyone to love you, first you gotta love yourself.
I've got a few announcements that I'll use the microphone for, because we've got a lot, actually. One is that we started our new book study class, The Prospering Power of Love by Catherine Ponder on Tuesday. It's not too late to join us. Please do. We're going to go for a total of 6 Tuesday nights from 6:30 to 8:30 through May. Right now we just have one copy of the book in the bookstore, but I have ordered more and they'll be available at class time on Tuesday night. So please do plan on joining us for that. It's a lot of fun. We also are doing something a lot of fun today. It's our open mic afternoon. This is something that we started last year. We did it at night. And we're thinking that maybe if we held it in the afternoon, there would be more people who would come and join us. So I know that there's going to be at least 3 of us. I'm hoping there will be more. It's just an opportunity to have fun, to be with your friends, and perhaps to share a talent that they may not have known about. So please do stay. We'll let you get something to eat, but then start in here again as close to 12:30, 12:45 as possible. Next Sunday, I'm bringing in a guest speaker named Peter Gibb, who is focused on memoir and mindfulness. So it's kind of interesting. He has just written his memoir, found that it was really a tool for spiritual transformation if you use the tenets of mindfulness. So he's going to be doing a workshop in the afternoon, and he will talk at next Sunday's service about that, memoir and mindfulness. We're going to have another jewelry fundraiser on Sunday, May 7th, so you can find a Mother's Day gift for that special woman in your life, or if you are the special woman in your life, you could buy something for yourself. We do always take donations, so if there's any jewelry in your jewelry box that you're not wearing that you'd like to donate, please bring it, and plan on finding a treasure for yourself on May 7th. And finally, this is the last day to turn in your community directory listing. So we've been holding the call open for a number of months, but are closing it after today. So if you would like to be in our community directory and you have not filled out a directory form, you'll find them on the table in the back with the candelabra. And please do fill it out, and you can leave it right there in the box that's next to it. And I think that's everything. So we will now bring in our children.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. No, so, oh, okay.
But anyway, so what do we do this morning, guys? We made a pizza. Right, so today was our day to make food for the congregation, so please come over. We made pizza. What else? Veggie platters. We have cookies and we have drinks in there, so please come over.
Wonderful. So love in action, right?
Yes. It's giving and receiving, so we're giving you something. Come and receive it.
Wonderful. Thank you. And please bless us.
Love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the presence of God in you, empowering you to do great things. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth. that surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. Wherever I am,